Hello. Hi. I wanted to talk about alpha, beta, omega. People have questions about, if you should be alpha, if you should be beta, what will give you love, what will bring you love, what will bring you sex. What is alpha? What is omega? What is beta? All these questions people had, and they requested I did a video on this topic. So I'm happy to talk about this topic today. If you guys have questions, please let me know, send a comment. Looks like a lot of you are joining on Instagram. Hi, everybody. Hi. I don't know how to pronounce your guys' usernames. Raul, Dinara, the one Zardek, and 9 McGill. Hi, what's up, everybody? Thanks so much for joining me. So, hi, Rick. Oh, I'm so happy you're here. This is on alpha, beta, typing in my Instagram live right now. Beta, omega. Okay, I'm going to see if I can pin that. There we go. Okay, so I read a book a while back called The Alpha Female Meets Her Match. And in this book, the author had some pretty good descriptions on what alpha, beta, and omega meant. But I have found that everybody has different interpretations and different definitions and different understandings of what these exactly are. So her definitions of these I'm going to use for this topic just to get on the same page with each other so you guys all understand. So someone that's just purely alpha means they know how to build really well in the business world, in the 3D matrix. A man that's alpha, for example, is very competitive in nature and wants to make sure that he conquers and destroys competitors. And alpha can be the strongest, fastest. They're very competitive physically as well as financially. Back in the caveman days, an alpha male meant that they typically were the best hunters and they were the strongest. They could carry the food, they could carry dinner. Those were the typical alpha males in caveman days. Nowadays, alpha males, it's not just people that can lift the most weight at the gym. It's also men that know how to build huge businesses and legacies and make a lot of money. So women that are alpha have masculine traits. Alpha females are really good at business as well. They know how to build empires. They know how to lead. They like to be strong as well. Typically have somewhat more testosterone than a regular female, so you find them at the gym more than what we would call like a beta or a mega female. So, and again, alpha is a masculine trait. So females can be alpha, but they are masculine if they're alpha. And in every relationship, there needs to be a feminine and masculine, even if they're a gay couple, one person has to typically be more masculine than the other person. The other person has to have more feminine energy. One person has to have more masculine energy. And so what I mean by feminine versus masculine energy is masculine energy is very kind of taking energy, very leading energy, very in control energy, leading the pack. They give, masculine energy is giving, and taking, giving. They go out in the world and they take what's theirs. So that's more masculine energy. Feminine energy is receiving and accepting, and feminine energy is more flowing and less rigid, and has timelines and goals. It's more of like a flowing energy. So all of us have masculine and feminine energy in us. So we choose how masculine we are and how feminine we are. And so that's a little different than alpha, beta, and omega. So I hope I helped cleared what masculine versus feminine is. So alpha is a good builder when it comes to business. It's the best way to just really simply put it. So thank you, Terrell. And then beta. Beta is if someone is just strictly beta, then what that means is they're better at building the family organization. So alphas are better at building business organizations. Betas are better at building family organizations. And betas are typically not in such huge competition with another person. They're very good team players. They're all about, the team effort. And, as a beta employee, for example, they're typically not someone that wants to be the boss. They're typically someone that wants less responsibility. Beta at home, it doesn't mean that beta is like what some people might call a pussy, or anything derogatory. Beta has a very good place in the home. They're very good builders of household chores. They're very good with children. Typically, they're very good in relationships because, again, they're a team player. So they want to work together towards a common goal. And so you can see why, for women, they would prefer a beta male in a relationship. That makes sense, right? Because they're better at relationships than alpha. Alpha males and females tend to be more independent, lone wolf, very proud of being lone wolves. And betas are team players. Let's work together for the common good. So some people will think that beta is less than alpha, and that's absolutely not true. There is no one better than the other. One is better in the family area. One is better in, the work area, typically as leaders, but one is better as an employee, and we have to have those. So there's not one better than the other. Again, I can't stress that enough. I'm just explaining the difference. And then the author of the book, The Alpha Female Meets Their Match, explained the omega as the loser. The omega is someone that may be living with their mother when they're in their 30s or 40s in their adult life. The omega is someone that has absolutely no direction in life. They have no goals, no aspirations. They're not a team player. They're not leaders. They're kind of nothing. They're kind of just going through life with no drive, no vision. And so these people, if you want to call anyone a loser, this is what the author of the book, Alpha Female Meets Her Match, is considered a loser. And again, there's not one better than the other, but we're talking about what's best in a relationship and what's going to get you laid. And if you have omega tendencies, you are definitely not going to be attractive to females at all. You're not going to be attractive in a relationship, and you're not going to be attractive as someone that has any sort of power or success. So women and men want different things in relationships, and women need to have security because they need to feel comfortable getting pregnant and potentially losing whatever career that they have worked so hard on before getting pregnant. they have to potentially lose that or stop working while they're pregnant. They have to maybe stop working after they have kids too if they want to focus on being a really good mom. So it just depends on, the female, what they do, how feminine they are, and if the more feminine they are, typically they have somewhat of a worse time handling stress because the cortisol hormones disrupt female hormones more than male hormones. The cortisol hormones sometimes can stimulate testosterone, so men can deal better with cortisol than women typically can. But if a woman really kind of turns herself into a masculine female and she has more testosterone than most females, then she can typically deal with stress better, or so she thinks, to a certain point. And sometimes those women hit walls at a certain age. There's certain books that are all about when women hit those points in their life where they kind of go a little crazy because they just were in their masculine too long. And when a female has more masculine hormones, she's typically a lot less happy. And the same goes for men. Men need their own testosterone, their male hormones, to be happier, typically. So the more testosterone a man has in his system, the happier he is in general. If he has more estrogen in his system, then he's actually unhappy. And there's a myth that men that have tempers sometimes have more testosterone. That's true if they're on steroids, but sometimes it's actually the opposite. Sometimes they actually have higher estrogen because estrogen makes them uncomfortable and estrogen makes them depressed. It can lead to tempers. So there is a myth that we have to definitely remember when it comes to men having a tantrum. Sometimes when a man is angry and in a tantrum, he's actually in his feminine because he's emotional and he's experiencing a rush of estrogen. So men that can keep their shit together and remain calm actually usually have higher testosterone and remain in their masculine. So that's correct. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but estrogen does lead to tempers in men. And it's the opposite in women. Estrogen is what makes us happy. It makes us fertile. So the more estrogen that women have in our system, the happier we are. So remember that. Women need their own hormones to feel happy. And that's why when some women are depressed and they're going through menopause, they're losing their female hormones, they're losing estrogen. So doctors prescribe more estrogen for them to be happier and healthier. Same goes for men. When they age, sometimes they become depressed because they're losing testosterone. So doctors sometimes recommend testosterone, so it helps them with anti-age and depression. So that's kind of more masculine, feminine, which is different than alpha, beta, but alpha tendencies are more masculine. So when it comes to a relationship, because I do want to focus on love and relationships and sex, women need security, again, to feel secure in a relationship, to feel comfortable getting pregnant. There's so many unknown variables when a woman gets pregnant. A woman might end up being bedridden. Let's say that she has a bad pregnancy and the doctor orders her to stay in bed for the last trimesters. It happens sometimes, So women just have to feel comfortable that a man is going to take care of whatever needs may come up if that were to happen, or she may get extremely sick during her pregnancy. There's some women, bless their hearts, that have perfect pregnancies. But that's not every woman, because every woman has different hormone levels and has different things going on in their body. So women just have a very primal need to feel safe and secure in the relationship. So therefore, a woman is attracted to alpha men in that area. Now, what a woman really needs, honestly, is a hybrid alpha beta. And I'll get to the beta part in a second, but they need an alpha in the workplace. They need an alpha because they want to know that a man can take charge and create wealth and create financial freedom and take care of the family. And in any disasters, let's say there's a flood or a fire or something, this man can think really fast without the female emotions that females have kind of that get in the way when something stressful comes up. An alpha man that has a lot of testosterone can stay grounded and think quicker, like, okay, this is what we need to do, this is our game plan. So women are attracted to alpha men because they're typically stronger, they can typically lift more weight. If something breaks, they can, more typically fix it, pick something up. If we need something picked up that's really heavy. So that's attractive to a woman. And we also like to be picked up as women too. We don't want a wuss, like lift weights, bro. So that's one side of what a woman needs. And if a man is just alpha, then it's very hard to build a relationship with, because they're just focused on me, and gym and work and, relationship. Oh, that's like third place. So a man, especially in 2019, has more duties than a man did back in 1950. In this day and age, women have to make money too. And sometimes men have to have that second income as well. So women are stressed out and they need more emotional support at home. So some women think they need 100% beta because they want to be able to talk to their man like their best friend. They want to be able to have a man that they can connect to on an emotional level, which beta men are much better at than alpha. They want to be able to build a family with their man, and beta men are much better team players. So they're typically better fathers, but just better life partners in general. So you can see how there's, I wouldn't say call it a discrepancy, but it's just that men need to evolve in this day and age past just putting themselves in one category. So if a man is just beta, a woman may not respect him as the leader, which I'm not saying a man has to be a leader, but a masculine energy is somewhat setting the tone in a relationship. So it's okay if a female wants to be the alpha, but the male has to want to be just the beta. So if you're one extreme or another, and you can take the test, I don't know if she has the test online, but you can look it up. It's called the Alpha Female Meets for Match. You can actually take a test to find out if you're alpha, beta, or omega. When I took the test, I was a hybrid alpha and beta. So what that means is I have the ability to build income and to build businesses and to make money, but I also have the ability to build a family and be a good partner and to be a good mother. And that's actually very rare, but it's also a choice, because you create who you are, you create your personality based on choices. So I encourage not only men, but I encourage women to be beta. And this is very helpful for both men and women. Women this day and age tend to be trained to be alpha, because that's just how we're taught. We're taught the same thing that men are taught. We're taught that we have to work hard, no days off, and all this crap we get fed by Tony Robbins and other motivational speakers. And we're taught the same things in the school systems. And so we tend to have a tendency to just be trained to be more masculine than what we should be in a relationship. In a relationship, a man really needs us to be beta. And again, not everyone's going to agree with me, and that's okay. But just proven statistics show that relationships do better when the feminine energy, whether it's the male or female, someone has to choose to be the feminine. But when the feminine energy is beta in the relationship and the masculine energy is alpha in the relationship, but they both have to have other qualities too. They both have to have the alpha quality or beta quality. Whatever prominent role you take, you also have to have other qualities. if that makes sense. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. No one wants an omega. I'm going to review right now. No one wants an omega because they're the losers. No motivation in life, no vision. People are attracted to alphas because they tend to be stronger, they tend to lift more weight, they tend to run fastest, farthest, have more stamina, build businesses. But women especially are attracted to men that have the ability to be both beta, that can build a relationship at home, and alpha. And men are attracted to beta women, especially in the home environment. And usually in 2019, a man would prefer a woman that can build an income too. So it's nice for her to have alpha tendencies. So if you're lucky and you find a partner that's both alpha and beta, which is called a hybrid, then you found yourself a keeper, because you can trust them in the workplace, you can trust them with your security, you can trust them with being able to make money when you're down. You can trust them as a life partner. And if you get married, sometimes that's a business partnership as well. So you can trust them in business. But if they can also be beta, you really got it made, because then they can help you at home too. They can help you build a family and be loving and not super independent, selfish. So I hope that helps. If you guys have questions, now is the time. I see you guys both on YouTube as well as Instagram. Let's see here if you have any questions. This is so true. Yes, I agree, Najib. And again, a lot of people are going to disagree. Some people haven't really done research and don't really understand. They might feel triggered by something. They might feel triggered by the fact that roles still are the best in relationships. Even though roles seem sexist, it's not sexist, it's just an energy. Someone has to have a feminine energy, someone has to have a masculine energy, even in gay relationships, in order for it to work. The most synergistic, the happiest relationships, someone always has a masculine, someone always has a feminine energy. And the most successful in this day and age is hybrid, both beta, alpha. And should someone kiss on the first date? Well, that's a case-by-case basis. It just depends how much of a connection you built up until the kissing part at the end of the date. I wouldn't jump in for a kiss if you didn't feel like a strong emotional connection, because then you might get rejected. I would make sure you definitely feel a connection, and maybe even ask them if you're not sure. Say, I really feel a connection to you. Ask that before you kiss them if you're not sure. What else we got? Hard eyes. You guys are awesome. Do alpha females like to be on top? Do you mean in the workplace or in bed? Now, what's really fun with people that are alpha beta is that typically that spills over into sex too. So people that are hybrid alpha betas usually are cool with their mate being on top and them being on top. So it usually makes for better sex too. I hope that helps with your question. I'm so calm. That's good, Baron. Street talk. Yeah, tacos. I love tacos. So you're all about your tacos, Baron. I think that's it. I think that's all the questions that you guys had. I see a lot of comments and hearts and smiles, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Yes, I am well. Thank you very much. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks so much for your time. I try to do lives as much as possible, but it's not my favorite thing to do, mostly just on the fact that you have to see my face, and so I have to feel like I look at least somewhat presentable. I had eye makeup on, but not face makeup on today, so I was like, I'm going to do this real quick before I go to the gym. But I'll try to do these more often if you like them, and on YouTube, I'll try to do more of these as well. And if you guys have any questions at all, please just send me a comment or a DM. And I just now saw a question on YouTube. What initially attracts women, alpha, beta, both? The initial attraction, just on attraction alone, like just physical, when a woman just sees a man, is alpha traits, definitely, because alpha traits are usually like they have swag, they know they're the boss, they have good posture, they're strong, they have muscles, just that air of confidence. So that's the initial attraction. But usually, the way you keep a woman is those beta characteristics, because just being in your alpha is not going to keep a woman. And keeping a woman is way harder than attracting a woman initially. Way harder. I hope I answered all your questions. Thanks so much, Terrell, for all your comments on YouTube. And thanks to all you guys. And thank you, Real Matt Neal. I'm glad I could help. You guys have an amazing night. And you can always DM me questions too, for me to put in my live streams. I'm happy to do that. Have an amazing night, you guys. Thanks so much again for all your support.